Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. I'm Marta, the Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Lokalise, and I'm super excited to host this webinar on the highest ROI decision in your global strategy and how you can convince your leadership that you can unlock the highest ROI opportunity in your business. Today, I'm joined by two excellent speakers. We have with us Sophie Krishnan, the CEO of Lokalise, and Sahil Gambhir, CPO at Lokalise. And I'm just going to share a brief agenda of what we're going to be talking about today. They're going to be speaking all about why localization is the highest ROI opportunity and what we've built and brought to market this first half of the year to help you and your business case for your leadership team. Before we get started, this session is being recorded and we'll send you the recording via email after the session, so you don't have to worry about that. And now, with all of that said, I'll head backstage and pass it over to Sophie, and I'll be back at the end of the webinar. So over to you, Sophie. Thank you.
Hello. I'm going to start with a question to understand the journey that each of you are on. So here it is. How confident do you feel making the business case for localization to your leadership team at the moment? Let's see. So we see a mix of answers with many people not yet as confident as they'd like, and I'm not surprised. In the last 12 months, I've had quite a few conversations with our customers as they engage with their C-suites about localization in their business. And what surfaces most of the time is the following. The benefits of localization seem obvious. The efficiencies from using a modern platform seem obvious. And yet somehow making a case for ROI is not that easy. And we're going to talk today about best practices. We're going to talk about what builds a strong data-driven case, because today, localizing with the right setup is one of the highest ROI decisions a company operating in several markets can pursue. I'm Sophie. I'm the CEO of Lokalise, and I will share my perspective today, not only as a CEO, but also someone who has been in many C-suites and on many boards. And I'm also lucky to be working very closely with our customers on their localization journey. So I'm going to share how we think about the big place. So let's talk about the big place. C-suite always looks for the big gains. What's going to deliver very high growth with as low effort as possible. And it's not a surprise to any of you that in the last 18 months, AI has changed those big plays in many areas. And in localization too, the big play has changed. So localization is not one of the first area that many C-suites start with. AI typically starts to change the game in the areas that have high volume and repeatability, like customer support. And then it moves into highly structured areas like engineering. It moves on to research, insights, data, and then to localization. In localization, the destination we all want hasn't changed. It is, how do I create the best experiences for each of my market so that customers engage locally with my brand, they convert, and they come back many times and rave about it. That hasn't changed. What has changed is how we get there. And until now, you had to choose the route. You could either choose the most scenic route, you could choose the fastest, you could avoid tolls, and the language in localization, that analogy translates into either I'm choosing the route for high quality or the fastest time to market, or avoid the effort and the spend. And different clients, different of our customers set their priorities differently across those. For the last 20 years, many have tried to solve that problem. How do we solve for all three at the same time? But until now, you couldn't have high quality, super fast, and low effort to the extent you can today. You had to compromise on some. And with AI, the game changed, and it changed in many businesses. And I'm not saying that localization is a pure AI play. I'm saying that AI has changed what localization teams can deliver. 12 months ago, C-suite started to take a closer look at their business. And as I said before, they looked at many other areas, but now localization is increasingly making it to the C-suite agenda. And interestingly, from the conversations I have with our customer champions and the exec, it gets to the agenda with the wrong question. It's someone saying, couldn't we just translate everything through an LLM wrapper? And instead, we in this webinar and many of our customers, what we're trying to answer is the right question, which is, how can we show the extraordinary ROI that localization done well can generate? So let's talk about the R in ROI, which is the revenue part. How much upside can we create? And to start with, localization has always grown revenue. 20 years ago, the companies I work with and their competitors always spend localization as a high revenue generator. And it's even more important now. Why? Well, for the same reason as before, but AI has amplified the necessity. So let's talk about some of them. What's the impact? Start with high returns from discoverability. We already knew that localization drove SEO. It's even more true now because LLMs optimize for local language and they optimize for local content. So you have to be localized to be discoverable by the LLMs and in the AI result searches. Localization also drives higher conversion and loyalty. And in the world today where there's plethora of content, to stand out, you need to localize with very high quality content and make your brand truly resonate in your market. There's a lot of good research from places like Nimdzi Insight, which over the years have measured that. I'll give you a few examples. 7 out of 10 users always choose their native language when given the option. 71% of users say they don't trust poorly translated content. And 64% of customers would pay more for a product or service in their native language. At Lokalise, we work very closely with our customers to help them measure the upside from localization, and they attribute between 20 and 50% of revenue growth to localization. That's an average. We even have a segment of about 10% of our customers who find high quality localization in their business drives more than half of their revenue growth. The challenge we'll recognize is that often when you improve the localization of user experience, you're also improving the product UX and you're pushing marketing campaigns. And so everyone in product and marketing and the localization team is trying to claim that they drove the upside. And it's not easy to solve. There's no easy way to separate. What we find in best practice is obviously to do A/B testing or to do pre and post analysis. And again, what we find across our customer base is, depending on how it is set up, between 20 and 50% of revenue growth. Now let's look at the other part of the equation, which is the investment. I'm going to start with a big watch out on this because we have all read the 90% efficiencies, 97% cost saving. From my experience, you can achieve those kind of numbers. It's not a myth. And we do have customers who achieve extraordinary efficiencies in their localization. But too many people assume that it's coming from an open AI wrapper or a simple fix. Instead, It's a journey, and it's a journey of important professional steps. You need the right infrastructure to get the significant efficiencies that we're talking about. It's a combination of having the right setup. We're talking about localization assets, the right platform, setting up the workflows, the automation, but also having high quality AI, meaning AI models that fit your brand and your languages and your context, and having AI scoring, quality checks, and human in the loop at the right place and with the right guidance. So it is an infrastructure play. When we put numbers to this journey, our research team does an incredible amount of rigorous research with different models, different customers, different setups. What we find is with standard AI and MT limited context, you get about 40 to 50% cost reduction. With Pro AI with context, smart routing, human in the loop, you get to about 65% cost reduction. And then when you lay on top of that custom AI profiles or advanced RAG, scoring, human review at the right places, then you get to 90 plus 95% cost reduction. The challenge that we all recognize is that it starts with quality. You need to measure quality. The point here is not to reduce costs. It's how do we improve the customer experience and the quality of the content for our users while reducing the effort. The reduction in effort has to be with the right quality for your markets. There's a side also which rarely gets quantified because it's harder to do. By having the right localization platform, you also allow the teams across the business to significantly reduce clunky collaboration. So you get a lot of efficiencies from time saving and collaboration in the business. And then finally, the cost is not always in the budget of those who benefit from the upside. And I'm going to come back to that. It's actually one of the main challenges today in how to get the right ROI. Well, back to the analogy I was using earlier and what we said. We're getting to a world where you can have it all. There are no compromise. You don't have to choose. You can have the most scenic, high quality content route and the fastest time to market and avoid the tolls and the inefficiencies. When we step back for any of our customers, localization delivers one of the highest ROI for the business, and it's a no-brainer. There aren't so many projects in a business today which will generate 20 to 50% revenue upside and deliver on that 90% reduction of the spend and effort. It is a fantastic outcome for the business and the C-suite. The ROI is very high. Now, question is, what are the steps that we need to take to prove it, and why is it hard? And the answer, there's actually no silver bullet. There's work to be done, and we have to bring the elements together. The first part of the elements to bring together is bring it into one business case, not isolated ones. Different teams in a business benefit from different parts of the upside. So the CRO benefits from higher revenue. The engineering team loves the improved team productivity. The CPO loves the faster time to market. The procurement and the CFO love the reduced LSP costs, but they sit in different parts of the organization. And where our customers have been most successful is when they look at the full ROI across all those teams and bring this as one business case that has the upside, the efficiencies, and therefore the overall impact on the business. The second element is to bring it under one platform. Localization is an infrastructure play. It is not bits and pieces or set of wrappers. And that's because quality matters. The right setup matters. When you do it well, you get high quality UX, you get engagement, you get higher conversion, you get loyalty to your brand. And it's a journey for the business. Many of you are already on that journey. We love helping build that one platform that truly brings the higher impact from localization and drives the efficiencies in the business. As a C-suite and a board member, I can't help but think that today in any business, localization is the most efficient growth lever you have. It's also become table stakes, and your competitors aren't waiting. So we're very keen. We're very keen to engage with any of you. Our teams are there to help you support that journey of bringing a higher revenue generation and as many efficiencies as possible in that journey. So now we're going to have Sahil, who's an incredible CPO, engage and share with you the solutions that you can use to become as successful as possible on that journey and deliver the outcomes that you want to your C-suite.
Thank you so much, Sophie. So, what have we really brought to the market? Well, we've been shipping with high velocity and, more importantly, with a consistent direction. In winter, we invested in building a world-class AI infrastructure with translations that you can trust. And in spring, we proved its value with clear ROI that you can show to the leadership. Let's look into building trust in AI. Well, the question that is often asked is, can you trust AI with your brand? The straight answer is not out of the box. As Sophie mentioned, you need to have the right setup and infrastructure behind to be able to get high confidence translations, smart orchestration, and the results that actually prove it. Well, AI translations is a commodity. It is the combination of multiple underlying themes that you can see on the right-hand side of the page that actually help you get those desired results. It's worth looking into those. For instance, the language intelligence layer that we've built. It helps make the translations engine agnostic. You get the best quality by default. There's an automatic selection of the top performing LLM for each content type or language pair. But at the same time, you also get full flexibility and control, wherein you can manually override routing to use the model that actually best fits your needs or policies or legal compliance. The smart LLM routing is important because the best model for English to Italian translation is not the best model for English to Arabic translation. And the content type matters too. Whether it's a UI copy, a marketing copy, or legal disclaimers, each respond very differently to the different models. But Localize's dynamic router makes this decision automatically, continuously, and invisibly. And the result? Well, the industry-first smart routing across 5+ LLM models, delivering 33% higher quality than using ChatGPT alone. And this is based on the real acceptance data from thousands of real interactions that we've had. The other side of this language intelligence layer is quality evaluation or scoring. Well, human review is expensive, but removing it entirely is a quality risk. AI scoring actually threads that needle automatically. It evaluates every translation against industry standard MQM criteria. So your team reviews only what the model itself is uncertain about. It protects against over-reliance on human review, which is costly, and builds trust in AI, which can have quality risks. Blind trust in AI, which can actually have quality risks. And the result? Only 20% of the output requires post-editing, and that is flagged. This is up to 80% reduction in post-editing effort, and review time is cut by nearly half. Because a product doesn't only give you a score, it also states why that score is actually low. We are well aware that while AI quality is improving, we need human in the loop, especially for sensitive content, and in order to ensure the costs are actually kept under control. Our goal is to provide high quality, high confidence translations for our customers. Generic AI gives you generic output. But your brand isn't generic. It has a tone, identity, and a life of its own. And therefore, custom AI profiles using RAG encode your brand voice, terminologies, and past translations into every output. Customers can create multiple profiles, each tailored to the specific needs of their departments, their domains. For instance, there could be a separate custom AI profile for legal, a separate one for marketing, and a separate one for software localization itself. The high confidence translations are proven by 90% acceptance rates, which mirrors or rivals with professional humans or human reviewed translations. These quality results are actually based on the evaluations with enterprise customers using real content and workflows, where human reviewers scored first pass quality and compared outcomes of custom AI profiles against their own translations. And well, don't take my word for it. These are some of the quotes from our real users who come from compliance heavy industries as well, like finance and healthcare. Some of those, for instance, RAG translations are a smart trend because they are sustainable and scalable, providing personalized custom translations. AI profiles and RAG really calm down a lot of issues we've been having. Another user quotes, overall, the custom AI profile is helping a lot with translations. It's clear that the model is learning from the previous examples and getting closer to our preferred style. Another localization lead actually states, AI initially gave us an incorrect result. But once manual corrections are made, it accepts the changes and starts reproducing the correct format in similar cases. Well, quality AI isn't enough if the process around it is still manual. And therefore, we now have an MCP server that helps implement Lokalise in your tech stack at lightning fast speed and removing the barrier of navigating through API endpoints and documentation. AI workflows, on the other hand, help automate the project management tasks within Lokalise. This ensures that there is no tool fragmentation. You get AI-powered localization that runs wherever your team works, and you get 10 times faster translation cycles as well. Let's look at the Spring 2026 launches, wherein we were looking at expanding the reach and proving the results. An automatic quality valuation. An in-product metrics dashboard that compares custom AI profiles results against base localized AI and generic empty like Google Translate on your own real data. You see the measurable gap coming between generic AI and your personalized AI. You can now show the leadership the real ROI and not just claim it, but actually demonstrate it, actually show it. You move from we believe it works to now we can confidently show it. It's the most objective proof that custom AI profiles actually outperform their alternatives. Again, don't take my word for it, because you can have an in-product drill down that lets you inspect the actual translations behind your evaluation metrics. So you can confidently answer the question as to what data is these evaluations actually based on. This helps makes these evaluation results more transparent, verifiable, and shareable with internal stakeholders. Well, let's move on to what's next and the expanding reach pillar that we have. The right localization solution unlocks potential across your entire organization. Well, marketing and creative teams are producing more content than ever, and they need a tool that supports their pace and feels more natural to adopt. So now we have a purpose-built solution for long-form content, be it blogs, or campaigns, or slide decks, or internal documentations, you name it, and we support it. And there is no specialist bottleneck to adopt and use it. Localize is now built for every team, every content type, and every use case, never forcing you to choose between powerful or intuitive. Well, as we started off saying, every release this year has been a deliberate step towards the same thing, the same consistent direction. Localization that works for every team, runs itself, and proves its own value itself.
Thank you both so much. That was super informative, and I'm really excited about what we have coming next. We've reached the end of the webinar. So after this session, we'll send you a follow-up email with the recording and the deck, just as a reminder. I hope that this is going to give you a really solid business case to everyone watching this webinar, so that you can bring to your leadership team and feel confident and really prove that your biggest ROI opportunity is actually localization. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming. Thanks, Sahil. Thanks, Sophie. I appreciate your time, and see you in the next webinar.